David, please, we are waiting the teams. They're in the tunnel at the moment. Normally they hold them there, don't they, for 2 or 3 minutes. Diego Maradona made changes for the last group game. Will that affect anything tonight? Or will they have lost any rhythm through those changes and the regulars that he's brought back in tonight?
No, I don't think so. Obviously, Walter Samuel's a strong defender. I just think that they've got the base in the midfield. Mascherano sitting. We're looking forward to seeing Messi, and of course he's got goal scorers Higuain and Tevez. And Di Maria, of course, was a sensation in the Champions League with his pacey running down the left-hand side.
I covered that game, Mark, and it was an attack versus defence game. Greece finished with 7 central defenders on the pitch. I think he's got 2 decisions to make tonight, whether it was Gutierrez or Otamendi at right back, whether it was Veron or Maxi Rodriguez in midfield. Veron played the Mascherano role against Greece and played it fantastically well. But reading 1 or 2 quotes from Maradona, he just felt that the extra mobility in Maxi Rodriguez could be the key against a very good in possession Mexico team tonight.
They are good in possession, aren't they, Mexico? I mean, we saw them at Wembley against England in a friendly before the World Cup, against the host nation as well, but they struggle to take the chances they create.
They did, and it's been very interesting, and particularly for English people tonight who are listening to us. Javier Hernandez, who's gone to Manchester United, a very sharp finisher who's come very quickly onto the scene and has become a sensational goal scorer. Manchester United have spotted that talent. And of course, Giovanni Dos Santos, who's at Tottenham, hasn't been able to infiltrate into the first team, but was at Galatasaray on loan last season. And I'm told, particularly from my dentist, who's a big Tottenham supporter, he says Dos Santos is going to be a big, big player.
Well, if your dentist says it, David, then it must be correct. It is a phenomenal...
He doesn't talk through his teeth.
It's a phenomenal atmosphere. I would imagine that doing your teeth is the only way you can get a word in edgeways, is it, David?
You'd be right, Mark. I'll shut up now.
The flash bulbs are flying around the soccer city. It is like being in Buenos Aires. The amount of ticker tape and to put it crudely, bog roll that's being thrown onto the pitch here in Johannesburg is astonishing. The sides have just walked out with, it looks like Argentina are going to be in their change trip tonight. Both sides wearing their white tracksuit tops as they get ready for the anthems. Myself and Darren were talking earlier about how good the tracksuit tops have been at this World Cup. There's a real nostalgic feel to them as Diego Maradona and Javier Guerra embrace down below. We get ready for the anthem of Argentina. This World Cup might not know anything about how to plug anything in, but they're experts at clearing up toilet roll. They got it all off the pitch during the Argentine anthem. national anthem of Mexico. They will now shake hands, both these sides. It has been a miserable day to be an English football fan, but hey, now the pressure is off. We don't have to worry anymore. We can just enjoy what will hopefully be a festival of football starting tonight on BBC Radio 5 Live. Diego Maradona's Argentina against Mexico. Your commentary team, Alistair Bruce-Ball, David Pleat, and first of all Darren Fletcher.
Thanks, Mark. Well, there really is a feel inside this stadium in Soccer City in Johannesburg that a piece of Latin America has decamped here tonight. There's a real chill in the air, but it's colourful. The green of Mexico and the blue and white of Argentina. 3 straight wins have set up Argentina as the team to beat in this World Cup in 2010. And it's ironic, really, when you think that 24 years ago tomorrow, a little man down there in a grey suit called Diego Armando Maradona led Argentina to its last World Cup triumph, ironically in Mexico, in the Azteca Stadium against West Germany, as was. And there really is a feeling around the tournament right now that if somebody wants to lift this World Cup in South Africa, they'll have to beat Argentina somewhere along the way, because they're full of attacking flair. They've played the best football so far. They're scoring plenty of goals. And with the infectiousness and spirit of Maradona around the team, it really has led them to be the centre of attention here so far in this World Cup. As for Mexico, 1 win in the groups against France. They qualified in second place. This is their golden generation, as they say. But it really is a big test for them tonight against an Argentinian side who they've not got a very good track record against. 5 changes from Maradona tonight. In come Heinze, Mascherano, Di Maria, Higuain and Tevez. So Argentina line up like this. Romero is in goal. The back 4 is Nicolas Otamendi, Martin Di Michelis, Nicolas Burdisso and Gabriel Heinze. Then Javier Mascherano. Either side of him, Maxi Rodriguez of Liverpool and Angel Di Maria. The magical Lionel Messi is behind Gonzalo Higuain and Carlos Tevez of Manchester City. Mexico line up with Oscar Perez in goal. 4 at the back, Suarez, Francisco Rodriguez, Ricardo Osorio and Carlos Salcido. Then Rafael Marquez, the captain, and Gerardo Torrado. Adolfo Bautista comes into the side, along with Giovanni Dos Santos and Andres Guardado, and they will support the man they're calling the new Hugo Sanchez, Javier Hernandez, who will play for Manchester United in the Premier League next season. The flashbulbs pop all around Soccer City. It's a slightly changed strip for Argentina. It's a bit of a mix and match tonight. The blue and white striped shirts and the navy shorts. Mexico in their green shirts, white shorts and white socks. And our referee tonight, who is about to get the game underway, is Roberto Rossetti from Italy. Sad and sorry day for England against Germany this afternoon. Now the team that's played fantasy football in the World Cup in South Africa this summer is about to take centre stage once again to see if Diego Maradona can continue his unlikely ride towards a World Cup final as the coach of Argentina. David Pleat is alongside me, and David, everybody seems to look forward to seeing Argentina.
Absolutely, the stadium is packed out. That's a wonderful sight to view some of the attendances we've had at the World Cup. I think everyone is looking forward to this game. It is really a mouth-watering prospect, and everyone hopes that it can live up to its terrific billing.
We're underway here on 5 Live Sport from the BBC inside a very chilly Soccer City stadium tonight. It's the South African winter. While you're all enjoying the barbecues and sitting outside in the sunshine, we've got 3 or 4 layers on, wrapped up against the cold here in Johannesburg tonight. First touch for Messi in this round of 16 game. The winners will play Germany in Cape Town in the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Here's Gabriel Heinze for Argentina. Via a deflection from Javier Mascherano, it's picked up by the long-haired figure of Martin Di Michelis at Bayern Munich, and then played forward at the right-hand side by Otamendi, and out of play off a Mexico player for a throw into Argentina on the right-hand side. About 10 yards inside the Mexico half, throw-in taken over there by Otamendi, and then picked up by Higuain, who can't keep the possession. Mexico will come forward, and Javier Hernandez gets the first touch inside the Argentina half. Here's the captain, Rafael Marquez, in towards Giovanni Dos Santos, who was in behind the Argentina defence on the left-hand side, inside the penalty area, couldn't control it, gone behind for a goal kick. And here's David Pleat.
Yeah, cleverly flighted ball there from Marquez to Dos Santos, who's running in the inside left channel, just went beyond him. Some of the pitches are rather quick, and if the ball is just too far in front with a little bit of pace, there's very little chance of catching it. So a lot of the play has to be played to feet, and when you want to play those forward passes, you've got to slide them through at angles rather than too quick and too straight.
Here's Gabriel Heinze, one of two players in the starting 11 for Argentina tonight who are walking the suspension tightrope. One yellow card already. Mascherano is the other. And they are two players that really Maradona can ill afford to lose. Here's Heinze again. Forward it goes towards Tevez. And then to Angel Di Maria on this left-hand side. He stumbles over. Rafael Marquez, the Barcelona teammate of Messi, can bring it away. And then the challenge comes in from Tevez, who tracked a long way back to win that ball for Argentina. And Heinze's got it in the left-back position again. Diverted out of play via a deflection off Hernandez and flicked back to Gabriel Heinze by the coach Maradona.
Yeah, quite comfortably, really.
I think that's the best touch we've seen of the game so far. 2 minutes gone, 0-0. And Mexico trying to build something inside the Argentina half with Adolfo Baptista. That breaks down, and it's back with Di Michaelis again, about 10 yards outside the Argentina half of the field. You often get the flashbulbs popping at kickoff. There's a constant flash all around Soccer City as the Latin American supporters inside this stadium take the photographs and enjoy the game. We're expecting this certainly to be one for the purists, and we expect goals as well. Here's the mercurial Messi on the left-hand side. Spins away from Suarez and then loses possession, forward by Tirado. Hernandez on the halfway line for Mexico, and then just forced to hurry in possession on the far side was Guardado. Plays it back towards Rodriguez, and then Osorio will turn it back to his goalkeeper Oscar Perez, and he can clear over the halfway line. It's very blustery inside Soccer City. The wind is really whipping around the stadium, and it's just managed to blow on a couple of more toilet rolls on the far side of the field.
We saw Tevez there chasing Osorio in like dervish fashion, and he was demanding his other players to push up alongside him to try and hustle and win that ball early. So I'm quite sure we're going to see Argentina as tactics today to try and win the ball early. They're not going to allow Mexico to have free possession in their own half.
It's the best run of form at international level for Argentina for 12 years as the Vuvuzelas strike up for the first time tonight. 8 successive wins. The last time they managed to do that was going into the World Cup in France in 1998. It's worth mentioning as well that there was a 5-month spell in 2009 where they were beaten 6-1 by Bolivia. They also lost to Ecuador, Paraguay and Brazil. People were asking questions about Maradona. Since then, 1 defeat in 12 matches. They've scored 27 goals during that span, and only Spain have managed to lower their colours since that particularly poor spell under Maradona. They really are a team in form. They look a happy unit, and they seem to be really enjoying this World Cup. Here come Mexico down the right with Juarez, and then forward by Rafael Marquez towards Bautista. That's intercepted by Maxi Rodriguez. But Mexico in the green shirts get the ball back again on the halfway line with the Efrain Suarez out towards the left-hand side. Here comes Guardado, pacey run out towards the left-hand side and drilled into the penalty area. It's headed away by Gabriel Heinze with Dos Santos behind him. Di Maria picks it up. He's just tripped there outside the Argentinian penalty area by Bautista, and it's a free kick to Argentina. David, please.
Bautista's playing very forward. It's almost a two-man front line, Bautista and Hernandez, whereas Argentina playing with a back four. Mascherano is going to be very important to them. He's very, very much the holding player. And then they've got the front players of Higuain and Tevez and Messi supporting them from behind.
Full moon above the stadium here in Johannesburg. We've just got a break in play because Oscar Perez, the goalkeeper, has now been given the job of clearing the toilet roll off the pitch. So we've just got a break while he does that. Certainly takes you back to 1978, David, and the final in River Plate when you think about the goals of Kempes running through the toilet rolls to score as Argentina won the World Cup.
Absolutely. Ardiles' day, wonderful performance, and the pitch was absolutely littered with litter, I suppose you would call it, all over the field. It didn't stop that tremendous 78 World Cup after all those political troubles in that country.
Well, the little man Maradona is prowling the edge of the technical area in the trademark grey suit. He always swaps the tracksuit just after the warm-up. He's got his hands thrust in his pockets on a cold night. And his press conference in the build-up to this match was a ticket-only affair. 400 journalists packed in, and he never lets them down, Maradona. He did accuse one of the members of the 78 squad, the goalkeeper Ricardo Lavolpe, of treason, because he said he hopes Mexico win today. And he said there were no star coaches at this World Cup, cited Mourinho and Guardiola. But I think Maradona, if he wins the tournament, he's going to be a star coach. Maybe not for his technical ability, but he's certainly the star of the show, David, whenever you see Argentina play.
Yeah, he's a little man, but he's the biggest personality at this World Cup. There's no question about that. The phalanx of photographers that surround him wherever he goes is quite amazing. It really is incredible.
Argentina 0, Mexico 0. You're listening to Five Live from the BBC in a chilly Soccer City stadium here in Johannesburg. Earlier today, England sent crashing out of the World Cup, an embarrassing 4-1 defeat against Germany. And I'm sure the inquest will continue long into the night, and for the next coming days on Five Live, all the best reaction to that devastating loss for England as it happens. Here's Messi for Argentina, and now Tevez to Messi. Messi into the penalty area. Still Messi, tried the shot, hits the Mexican defender and is cleared away. He's desperate for a goal, is Lionel Messi. At the moment, they're just not quite coming for him. Messi again, left edge of the Mexico penalty area, back to Ainse, and then in towards Di Maria, who didn't control it, and Giovanni Dos Santos, the Tottenham player, can bring it away for the Mexicans. Here's Bautista with a shaved head, just short of the halfway line, and now Suarez, the right back, infield to Marquez, and Marquez, the elegant player from Barcelona, can step into the Argentina half. Guardado on the left-hand side, just moves away from Nicolas Otamendi, and then rolls it back towards Tirado, square pass midway inside the Argentina half then to Marquez, and then the patient possession football will come from Mexico, who certainly like to get as many touches as they possibly can whenever they've got the ball. Now here's Salcido, the left back, tries a shot from a long way out, deceives the goalkeeper and hits the crossbar. Romero knew nothing about that whatsoever.
A wonderful effort. It is a windy night. I don't know if that ball swerved, if it was difficult for the goalkeeper, but my word, it rocked the bar. But Argentina come.
Tevez towards the Mexican penalty area, still Tevez into the box, 4 green shirts surround him. The ball was won back there by Rodriguez, and he manages to play it forward towards Guardado. That really was a strike and a half from Salcido, and Romero was backpedaling, wouldn't have got there. Dos Santos, edge of the Argentina penalty area. The game's starting to open up. Guardado hits the shot just wide, and again Romero, the Argentinian goalkeeper, was completely flat-footed.
Terrific effort by Guardado, let it run across his body, sliced it slightly, just went past the far post. Romero was absolutely beaten, he would have had no chance there. So we've seen a great right footer from Salcido, a left footer from Guardado. Could easily have been an early goal for Mexico. What a shot from the left back, absolutely rocked the bar, goalkeeper nowhere.
9 minutes gone, Argentina 0, Mexico 0. The Mexican start wasn't necessarily in the script, but I think it's fair to say the touch paper has been well and truly lit inside Soccer City in this round of 16 World Cup match. Argentina with the ball on the far side, the right, with Otamendi. That's played out there towards the far side, towards Maxi Rodriguez. He's gone down. It is going to be a free kick according to the Italian referee, and it's to Argentina 5 yards short of the halfway line. And then Tirado goes clattering into Messi, and the referee might just be wanting to speak to Tirado. It's certainly an agricultural challenge. Not sure whether it's going to be a yellow card or not, but he certainly left his mark, David.
No, I think early in the game, good decision by the referee early in the game, just to say, look, be careful, but next time I'll have you in the book. Mr. Rossetti, the Italian, one of the Italians that is still here.
So free kick to Argentina, which is just touched to Messi inside the Mexico half. 10 minutes gone, 0-0. The flashbulbs continue to go off around the stadium. Forward by Ainse. Here's Angel Di Maria on the left-hand side. Yet to already make his mark in the World Cup. And then there's a clumsy challenge by the Argentina captain Mascherano on Bautista, and it's going to be a free kick to Mexico, who have made, David Pleat, a decent start.
Very good start. Bautista cleverly there, just selling the dummy to Mascherano and made him mistime his tackle. And do you notice on the free kicks, they just get possession and take it quickly and get on with the game. They don't wait for big centre-backs to go up the field and hit big lofty balls into the box and fight for knockdowns.
Well, we've talked long and hard today about England's inability to pass the ball and keep possession at this kind of level. We're seeing two masters here of possession football and controlled football at international level. Here's Giovanni Dos Santos, just short of halfway on this right-hand side for Mexico, just in front of the onlooking Maradona, up towards Javier Hernandez, who has scored in this World Cup against France for Mexico. And then battling for the ball is Higuain, falls for Tevez. Tevez can wriggle away. Higuain inside the penalty area, just too far ahead of the man from Real Madrid, and gathered by the Mexico goalkeeper Oscar Perez.
Just a hint of offside there, but the assistant kept his flag down. Good play by Tevez, a little blindside run by Higuain, but Perez, the rather short goalkeeper, not short of age, he's 37.
Messi wins it back for Argentina, glides across the turf, gets away from Marquez, still Messi. Messi tried to float one towards Perez's goal and he had to bat it down and catch it at the second attempt. He's not the biggest, Oscar Perez. If you want an idea of how big he is, he's 1 inch taller than Lionel Messi. As goalkeepers go, that's pretty small.
That was an amazing piece of play by Messi. It's so difficult to chip a ball that's running away from you, and that's exactly what he did there. Perez lifted his 5'7" frame just to catch that ball. It would have probably just hit the bar. It's such a skillful thing to chip a ball that's running away from you as you're running at pace.
2 more games tomorrow on 5 Live. 3 o'clock it's Holland against Slovakia, 7:30 Brazil against Chile. It's been a good World Cup so far for the South American teams. All 5 of them have qualified for the last 16. Not quite so good for the European nations, but the South Americans certainly enjoying it here in South Africa. And here's Higuain, couldn't get the ball down quick enough to get the shot away, and Carlos Salcido, the left back for Mexico, is able to block it and get it behind for a corner to Argentina. 0-0.
Good defending by Salcido. We've already seen him attacking and hitting the crossbar, but there he was just in a good position to intercept with his right thigh, and ball goes for a corner kick. Salcido, who plays at PSV.
Aguirre pretty passive, the Mexican coach. Not really seen him leave the dugout as yet, but Maradona in that grey suit is just prowling the Argentina technical area and kicking every ball. Corner to Argentina. 12.5 minutes gone, 0-0 on 5 Live, and the corner delivered by Maxi Rodriguez from the right. Argentina are good from set pieces. Breaks for Di Maria, took a deflection, did it on the way through, not according to the referee, and it flashes 5 or 6 yard wide of Perez's left hand post. Here's David, please.
I think the deflection came from one of the centre backs. I think it might have been Bedisso there, who just flicked that ball as it went past the post as Di Maria came onto the ball and hit it.
Bedisso playing tonight because Walter Samuel not quite ready after being injured against Nigeria, and there's a real discussion going on around the Argentina bench involving Maradona and a couple of his staff, and he's just scowling a little bit. Here's Maradona, not too happy with 1 or 2 things. He seems to have his arms folded for the majority of matches, and the smile is just momentarily gone. Dos Santos to Hernandez with a shot, and Romero diving to his left-hand side was happy to see it flash wide.
Well, we've already seen the attacking instincts of these 2 teams. Bright, spiritful, quick football, played along the deck, and at every opportunity looking for a shot. I mean, we saw early on in the competition the poor efforts at goal, high, wide. Here now, couple of weeks on, we're seeing some good drives, lower shots. They've certainly coped with the ball much better, and actually it's amazing we're not talking about the ball anymore.
Well, the last meeting between these sides, June 2008, Argentina won it 4-1. Messi scored on that occasion, and they also met in the last 16 of the World Cup 4 years ago, and it was that wonderful volley from Maxi Rodriguez, the goal of the tournament, that sent Argentina through, ironically, to meet Germany, where they went out on penalties, who they'll play in the quarter-finals if they win today, and Mexico went home. As the crossfield ball from Tevez is in between Maxi Rodriguez and Nicolas Otamendi, and it's gone out for a throw-in on the left-hand side to Mexico. I've got to say, David, I've seen a lot of Argentina in this World Cup, and they've started games a lot better than this. I think you've got to give a lot of credit to Mexico for the way they're applying themselves.
Well, particularly to Hernandez, Santos and Batista up front. They are moving very well, and they look as though they're finding some space between the 2 centre-backs, Bedisso and Di Michaelis. I think before the tournament, a lot of people thought Di Michaelis might be a weak spot. Likes to play with Walter Samuel because he's not there tonight. But, of course, they're so good attacking that they usually got the comfort of a couple of goals in front, so they can afford the odd mistake. But at the moment, it's tight and it's effective and it's quality.
And it's 0-0. But the better chances so far have gone to Mexico. They've hit the crossbar through Salcido. They've seen a fizzing shot from Guardado go just wide, and Javier Hernandez has had a sight at goal as well. The Vuvuzelas noisy inside Soccer City as Argentina build with Messi inside the Mexican half, and he's clattered there by Osorio, and it's going to be an Argentina free kick just outside the centre circle, and an opportunity for them to apply some pressure on this Mexican defence. They've got a very fluid system of Mexico, with the 2 holding midfield players in front of the back 4, Tirado and Marquez, do such an important job for them in terms of providing defensive cover, and then they've got the ability to spring from attack and use the pace of Dos Santos and Hernandez to really punish the opposition. Here's Maxi Rodriguez for Argentina. Blue and white striped shirts and navy shorts tonight. Messi wriggles away from a couple of challenges, then he loses it. Argentina get it back with Di Maria, the youngster from Benfica, can't find a way through, and it's cleared towards halfway, where Di Michaelis of Bayern Munich wins it back for Argentina. Now here's Higuain. Forced back towards halfway, Salcido makes the tackle, and Mexico are coping pretty well when Argentina get in their half of the field. It's noticeable, David Pleat, they get lots of green shirts around the ball.
Yes, they're very good at shuffling across the field and supporting the man that's challenging.
Here's Heinze on the halfway line, plays his football these days for Marseille in France, won the French League this season. There's a long diagonal ball out towards Maxi Rodriguez on the right. All he can do is head it down, and the shaggy-haired Guardado can sprint towards the halfway line for Mexico. Plenty of green shirts inside the Argentina half. Guardado square to his captain Marquez, and then towards Suarez, the right back, out towards Giovanni Dos Santos, who's a yard in from this right-hand touchline, midway inside the Argentina half. Marquez again, short pass to Dos Santos, then back to Tirado. They're quite patient, Mexico, waiting for the opportunity to appear. Now Guardado on the left-hand side, back to Tirado again, and then square towards Suarez, about 10 yards inside the Argentina half. There's a breakdown in communication with Dos Santos, and Gabriel Heinze can pick it up for Argentina.
Yeah, just a little misunderstanding there. You know, the wonderful thing about Messi is we all say wonderful things about the ball tied to his toe and the way he dribbles past people and his speed and his vision, but you know, he's so brave. He gets tackled all over the place, he gets 2 or 3 men on him at times, and he never ever shirks a challenge. He's very, very brave.
Here he is in possession. Messi became Argentina's youngest ever captain when he wore the armband against Greece in the final group match. Maxi Rodriguez on the right hand side, who eliminated Mexico 4 years ago in Leipzig, and then back to Di Michaelis midway inside his own half. I just get the feeling here that Argentina are just wanting to get a foothold in this match and get a hold of the ball, because Mexico have certainly made a bright start. Forward by Heinze, that's too far in front of Higuain, and it's gone all the way out of play for a goal kick to Mexico.
Yeah, both sides using the width of the field very well. I think the Dutch do it well in this tournament particularly. As soon as the ball comes to either of the centre-backs, the full-backs split wide, and if the full-backs have it off the centre-backs, then a player in front of them in the midfield, they hit the touchline too. You don't have to be playing 4-4-2, you don't have to be playing 4-5-1. Someone has to get wide and get on the chalk to make space infield for other players, and they do it so well. They seem to make the space better than we do.
Argentina perennially go deep in this World Cup tournament. Mexico have got to the quarterfinals twice, but never outside of South America, so they're trying to do something they've never managed to achieve before here in Johannesburg against Argentina. 19 minutes gone 0-0. Bautista to Hernandez, sliding challenge by Heinze, and now Di Maria has got the ball running towards the halfway line for Argentina. Finds Liverpool's Maxi Rodriguez, he's challenged quickly by Guardado. Rodriguez gets to his feet and wins it back for Argentina, and now the captain Mascherano, who's not seen much of the ball in the opening 20 minutes or so, has a touch on the halfway line, gives it to Heinze. But every time Argentina cross the halfway line, Mexico are well drilled and well organised, and there isn't too much space for Argentina to exploit. Here's Di Maria, square pass to Messi. Messi almost on the centre spot, spins away from Tirado and then leaves him for dead. Then he runs towards Marquez, his Barcelona teammate, and pokes it out towards Heinze on the left. Now here's Carlos Tevez with the silver and fluorescent orange boots on. Square ball by Tevez to Otamendi. And then out towards Maxi Rodriguez on the right-hand side. Preferred tonight to Veron. Forward towards Otamendi again. The challenge comes in from Guardado, and he can clear it out of play for an Argentina throw-in.
Yeah, he's doing some good defensive work, Guardado, the wide left player for Mexico, working back to give help to Salcido.
Here's Maxi Rodriguez by the corner flag, following the throw. The cross is blocked on the far side and then cleared away towards the halfway line by the Mexican defence, and then given away unnecessarily by Martin Di Michaelis. Marquez for Mexico. He then gives it back to Argentina needlessly, and it's forward by Otamendi towards Higuain, who got a hat-trick against South Korea in Argentina's second group match. He also missed a hatful of chances in the opening game against Nigeria. Can't keep the possession, and it's back with Oscar Perez, the Mexico goalkeeper. 0-0, David.
Yeah, they have the same problem, Mexico, that England must have faced with Ozil today, the German. when Messi drops into that little space behind the front players. Tirrado's doing his best to pick him up as quickly as possible when Argentina get possession at the back, but he drifts wide and he drifts deep and he takes you for a walk, and therefore he leaves Mexico short in midfield if they man mark him. They can't afford to do that, but they must try and keep compact between the back line and the middle line to give Messi less space to work in.
Argentina 0, Mexico 0, Germany 4, England 1 earlier today, and a win in the Grand Prix in Valencia for Sebastian Vettel. The bright spot for England today, a third successive win in the one-dayers against Australia. Here's Di Michaelis on the halfway line for Argentina, and now Otamendi, just a couple of feet inside the Mexico half, back towards Di Michaelis again. And for the first time in this tournament, Argentina have got to find the answer to a question, because Mexico won't be pushovers here in Soccer City tonight. Maxi Rodriguez. Across the pitch it goes towards the left-back Gabriel Heinze, and then forward towards Di Maria on the left-hand side, chipped into the penalty area towards the onrushing Heinze. He's forced towards the byline. He thought he was upended by the Mexico captain Marquez. The Italian referee was in a good position, and he points for a goal kick to Mexico.
Yeah, he started particularly well, the referee. He was only about 5 yards from that incident there. Wasn't going to let Heinze there deceive him, as Tirrado came in and made that challenge.
Well, a bit more toilet roll on the pitch on the far side. I'm not sure whether Oscar Perez will have to run out there and scoop it up again. If you're short, this is the place to be, because it's all around the ground at the minute, the toilet roll. It's 0-0. It's at the midway point of a first half that's flown by. We've seen some fantastic passing already. 1 or 2 chances for Mexico. And here's Alistair Bruce Ball.
Thank you, Darren. Yes, intriguing stuff so far at a blustery Soccer City this evening. Was always going to be the question about this Argentina team when they didn't have quite so much possession, when they came under a little bit of pressure. How was the defence going to cope? How was Mr. Maradona going to cope down on the sidelines? Argentina have already had their crossbar rattled this evening by the left-back Carlos Salcido. Hernandez and Guardado with stinging shots flashing just wide as well. But Argentina, as ever, in these light blue and white striped shirts, and the change from the normal black shorts to dark blue shorts tonight, whenever they come forward, they do, as ever, look extremely dangerous. 23 minutes gone in the first half. Here's Marquez, the Mexican captain, who of course knows Lionel Messi well, both playing for Barcelona. I saw them exchange a little embrace in the tunnel before the game. Marquez here with a little layoff into Bautista. Argentina intercept. Mascherano with a crisp pass away to Tevez. He lays the ball off to Maxi Rodriguez, who then stops, stoops and starts doing his bootlaces up. Messi's been tackled. Good battling challenge there from Guardado on the left-hand side. He's eventually fouled Messi, and Argentina get themselves the free kick. But as Darren was saying, David, played Argentina not having it all their own way.
I was watching the movement there of Hernandez when Marquez, his captain, had the ball. Marquez is very much as a centre-back player playing in midfield, but he knows when to stand still. Always available, square or backward of square, to receive the pass. But I noticed Hernandez, when he had the ball, he made a sprint away, then he made a run back towards his man in the middle with the ball, and then he sprinted again. He wasn't just content to make 2 breaks, he made a 3rd break to give him an alternative. Good movement by the young Manchester United player.
Former Spurs boss David Pleat with us in Soccer City this evening. Here's Lionel Messi, obviously always a real buzz around the stadium whenever he gets the ball at his feet. He's one of the big players at this World Cup who really has lived up to his reputation, hasn't found the back of the net, but has teed up so many others. Cristiano Ronaldo yet to do so. Higuain is onside here, just muscled off the ball by Salcido. Higuain appeals for the free kick. Good strong challenge by the left back. I think the referee probably called that right, David, no?
Well, he made a gesture with his elbow.
Messi picking up 30 yards from goal. Lovely ball through. Can Tevez get there? Perez comes out. Messi with the dig. Tevez with the header. And Argentina take the lead. 25 minutes played in Soccer City. That man Messi sets it up again with a delightful little chip, and Carlos Tevez gets his first goal of this World Cup. It's Argentina 1, Mexico 0.
Well, it really was a gift. It was Messi, of course. We said before the game how many attempts he'd had so far at goal, and other players had been the recipient of the balls across the box or the rebounds, but the concentration is on Messi. Lovely little ball played forward. It was Higuain who went in on Perez, and when the ball came back, the ball was struck. I think originally there Tevez could have been offside, and I think he was slightly fortuitous to get that decision. It was Messi that played the ball back in, and when the ball came back off the goalkeeper and spiralled up, then Messi played it forward, and Tevez gratefully nodded into the net, but I think he was in an offside decision, should have been given.
Well, it's another linesman here who is getting a load of stick. The Mexican players will not restart the game. All 10 of the outfield players in their green shirts have come racing over to the linesman for not spotting the offside, and David Pleat is absolutely right. The Argentina players getting involved as well, and they've got a feeling here the Argentina players are extremely worried that the goal is now not going to be allowed. The ball is on the centre circle, and we have every single outfield player surrounding the linesman and the referee on the far side. Huge controversy surrounding the linesman in the England game this afternoon. Frank Lampard shot across the line and wasn't allowed. The goal will stand here. The Argentina players trotting back into their half. The Mexican players continue their protests and their arguments on the far side. We have seen the replay, and David Pleat was absolutely spot on. Perez came out and made the block. The ball came back to Messi. As Messi chipped it forwards, Tevez was in the offside position. Defenders were racing back. Tevez headed it into the net, and Mexico are extremely, extremely unhappy.
I think what's happened is the events of this afternoon, has made them think twice here, because we know this afternoon we had a perfectly good goal disallowed. And there was a situation where if the assistant puts his flag up and the referee consults him, he can overrule the goal on the assistant of the linesman over at the far side. He's decided to go along with it, but what he has proved to both sets of players, that he has consulted his assistant to make it, if you like, a more genuine decision, that he hasn't just made it without consultation. He has consulted his assistant, he's gone and spoken to him despite the protest of the green-shirted Mexican, and as a result of this, hopefully we won't get tempers frayed, but we've just had a bit of a naughty tackle, David. And Marquez has gone in the book, I think.
The Mexican skipper has immediately come in on Tevez with a challenge, has caught him. So Marquez is booked, and we've got huge drama in Soccer City. Argentina leading Mexico by a 0-0, but a real hiatus there for 2 or 3 minutes or so as the Mexicans continued their protests against the goal. Carlos Tevez clearly offside, but the goal does stand, and Argentina lead Mexico by a 0-0. The winners of this last 16 tie will play Germany in the quarterfinals in Cape Town on Saturday. So plenty more to talk about on BBC Radio 5 Live this evening, on the day that England have gone out of this World Cup, losing to Germany by 4-1. And I've just been passed a note here by my fellow commentator Darren Fletcher, who claims that the Mexican players' protest came from seeing the replay of the goal on the big screen. They saw it was miles offside. Di Maria's chip into the penalty area. The ball drops down by the corner flag in the Mexican right-back position, knocked away by Dos Santos, and the ball is out for an Argentine throw. Argentina 1, Mexico 0, 16 minutes to play in the first half. David Pleat.
Yeah, we just saw a little hint of the pace of Di Maria, a much sought-after flank player from Benfica. Showed electricity this year when we saw him play in European nights, and playing on the left-hand side today of this very attacking Argentinian lineup. So, Mexico trailing by a 0-0. Rafael Marquez in the book for the challenge on Messi. And the men in green shirts and the fans in green shirts inside this huge cavernous stadium feeling extremely aggrieved. Dive header away from Bedisso. Argentina leading Mexico by a 0-0. A goal that clearly should not have stood. Headed in by Carlos Tevez. A good couple of yards offside, and quite unusual sometimes for the replays of controversial decisions like that to be shown. The players have seen it. Could cause problems inside the stands as well if the fans can see it. That's what happened, and as I say, there was a good 2 or 3 minute discussion. I mean, the Mexican players absolutely furious, trying to get the decision reversed. It hasn't been. Argentina lead by Carlos Tevez's goal. 15 minutes to play in the first half, and Argentina have possession again, so we have to see how Mexico can cope with the setback. Headed clear on the halfway line. Here's Marquez, little pass back to his central midfield partner Tirado. Salcido tries to keep it on the left hand side, eventually wins a throw, and he's going to take this just inside the Argentina half, just tiptoeing his way up the touchline.
throws it in. Tirado with the ball forwards. Offside flag goes up this time against Mexico in a much more marginal decision against Hernandez. May well have been correct, but that's just going to rub a bit of salt into the wounds.
Just looking at the systems of play, Tirado and Marquez are going to be very important to Mexico, because it's their job just to hold that midfield, to stabilise the Mexican midfield, to make sure that the back four doesn't get run at too much, particularly from Messi running from midfield with the ball. We spoke earlier on about technical ability and dribbling ability. If you've got one man, whether he's wide or in midfield, who can dribble past, we had one in Gascoigne, of course, a few years ago. Have we got one now? I don't think so. Who can actually go past his man marker and then create a problem to the back four. There's nothing more worrying than the back four to see someone breaking from midfield when you're marking your own front player and coming up and making a man over.
Well, the subject of referees' decisions, linesmen's calls, is right at the top of the agenda on this World Cup Sunday. England trailing 2-1 against Germany earlier on today. Lampard's shot off the crossbar, good couple of feet over the line. Linesman didn't see it. This constant debate we have about video replays. That one, I understand, wasn't shown on the big screens in Bloemfontein this afternoon. Otherwise, the England players, the England fans may have had something to say about it. And here, the ball given away by Osorio. Argentina in with Higuain round the keeper, and he makes it 2-0. A dreadful mistake in the Mexican defence, and Argentina at the moment are strolling towards the quarter-finals. A controversial first goal, and Mexico have absolutely gifted them a second. Higuain scores. Maradona celebrates on the sideline with his players. Argentina lead Mexico by 2-0.
Well, they're heavily back before this tournament, 13-2. That was a terrible mistake defensively. A little square ball tried to be played across the box. Higuain seized on it. I think it was Osorio. I don't know what he was playing at. Higuain got side of the ball a la Beardsley, that type of thing. Walked past the goalkeeper and then rolled the ball in with his left foot. Awful mistake. Well taken, very coolly taken. Took the ball round the goalkeeper so easily, sideways on, and drifted the ball into the net with his left foot. 2-0. Now, what a mountain for the Mexicans.
You just wonder as well, don't you, David, in terms of what was going on inside their heads, having conceded the first goal.
I just think Osorio slipped. I think, I don't think he obviously didn't intend to make such a poor pass. But there you go. Sometimes you can't justify a mistake. They happen, and goals result.
Argentina 2, Mexico 0. Higuain's fourth goal of the tournament puts him level alongside Asamoah Gyan of Ghana in the competition for the Golden Boot, the hat-trick against South Korea. And he won't get a much easier one than that, but took it well, dummied the keeper well and slotted it away. Long-range shot here is palmed away well by Sergio Romero. Bit of a dive for the cameras, that one. Got both hands to it and pushed it away for a throw into Mexico on the far side. Salcido was the man with the shot again, the left back, who's actually right-footed, and he's hit two absolute belters with that right foot, one against the crossbar, and Romero was fairly comfortable with the second one. 11 minutes to half-time on 5 Live Sport this Sunday evening. Argentina leading Mexico by 2-0. Tirado's ball into Hernandez, lays it off. Guardado drives the shot in. It's blocked by Di Michaelis on the edge of his own penalty area. Comes out to Guardado on the left-hand side, tries to lay it back. Tackle on him by Otamendi. Otamendi then goes down, claims he was caught off the ball. Referee steps in between the players. Mexico get a throw on the left-hand side, and they're trying to take it quickly, but play will be restarted.
Well, they've had 4 good efforts at goal. Salcido twice, Guardiola, Hernandez, but of course there's only one statistic that counts, and that's the 2 goals from Higuain and Tevez.
That's right, Argentina leading by 2-0. Here's Ainse playing out from the edge of his own box. Higuain with a couple of cheeky little rolls of the ball under his studs. Got pace here, pulling away from the Mexican defence inside their half. Eventually ran out of space. Tevez with Diego Maradona going absolutely nuts about the challenge on Higuain.
I think he was going nuts because Tevez on the left crept up and made a man over, and Higuain hadn't had the subtlety to reverse the ball. Of course, we saw Maradona do that many times, and he had the eyes in the back of his head, but Higuain hasn't got those same eyes.
Yes, Diego Maradona had spotted the pass, and you just wondered whether he wanted to get onto the pass as well. Now Mexico have been caught out again, and Argentina could be in for a third here. Tevez on the right-hand side, cross into the back post, might come to Messi, is just headed away. And Mexico clear, upfield. Maradona thought about a little cushion control on the sideline, but decides to let the ball run out of play and Argentina have the throw.
Little harsh on the Mexicans at the moment. They've contributed to a nice ebb and flow game, but they've suffered a little bit because of an assistant, and they've suffered a little bit because of a mistake of their own making.
Tevez' goal was offside, and a dreadful mistake by Osorio, the centre-back, gifted Higuain possession, and that is why Argentina lead Mexico by 2-0, and as it stands at the moment will go on to play Germany in the quarter-finals. And watching Germany dismantle England this afternoon, and the way this Argentina team can play, that will be a very, very tasty quarter-final. Diego Maradona has got ants in his pants, still standing on the edge of his technical area, shouting, applauding, encouraging. Occasionally turns round to a couple of his assistants who are also dressed in these smart grey suits, like Diego Maradona, all of them with the slick jet black hair. Di Maria in the penalty area, drives the shot in. Perez with the save. Tevez on the rebound. His shot's blocked, comes back to the edge of the box. And here's Maxi Rodriguez, who decides to take it out wide, gets the cross back in towards the penalty spot. Tirado with the header away. Messi brings it down. Was just eased off the ball by Bautista. And here come Mexico on the break. Giovanni Dos Santos plays the ball away to the left-hand side. Argentina just backtracking a little now. Guardado, the left winger. Infield to Salcido. He's going to try another sight here. No. Slides the pass quickly away to Osorio on the right. Osorio's cross is blocked by Ainse, who jumped high to do so. And the ball goes out for a Mexico throw. 8 minutes to half-time. Argentina lead by 2-0. But you do sense, David, they could score a few here this evening.
Well, they certainly could if Mexico throw caution to the wind and really come forward. And talking about the wind, very, very blustery up here, but this wonderful bowl of a stadium, I think down there on the pitch it isn't quite so bad, although the corner flags do suggest that there is a little bit of breeze there of blowing from right to left.
Interesting situation here though, because Mexico have won themselves a free kick, 45 degrees to the Argentina goal, just outside the penalty area on the left-hand side, about 5 or 6 yards away from the corner of the box. Guardado with the curly long hair tied back by the Alice band. This will definitely be an in-swing. You can see the breeze that David was talking about, really tugging at his white shorts. Argentina have a two-man wall, and Sergio Romero, the goalkeeper with the long flowing ponytail, waits. Guardado swings it in too high over the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. Just to go back to my point about Diego Maradona on the sidelines, David, when he turns and talks to his assistants, they're all in the grey suits, they've all got the jet black hair, they've all got the shiny jewellery. They remind me of sort of 3 nightclub bouncers.
Oh, I thought you might going to say Mexican mafioso, because they're Argentinians. I don't know what the Argentinians think of that.
If you approached the nightclub and you saw those 3 and they said your name's
we don't go to nightclubs anymore.
No, we don't, David.
I know. Leave that to Darren Fletcher.
But if they gave you your name's not down, you're not coming in, I don't think I'd argue. I think I'd probably turn around and find somewhere else to go. Ball down the left-hand touchline.
You might, but the other 2 will tell you what to say. And I think at half-time, when Maradona goes in that dressing room, the other 2 will say, don't say anything, Diego, just sit down, tell him a few jokes, and tell him to go out and do it again.
Well, I saw him in the tunnel again just before kick-off, David. He's changed out of the tracksuit into the suit, and he came very purposefully up to his captain, Javier Mascherano, gave him a big hug and a big kiss on the cheek, and there is so much feel-good about him, and the fans see it, and the fans love it. And Argentina are thoroughly enjoying their World Cup and scoring plenty of goals to boot. The first one this evening, though, shouldn't have counted. That's the big story. Carlos Tevez, a good couple of yards offside. Argentina leading by 2-0. They've won a free kick here, left-hand side. And the other thing I have to say, if you're listening to this at home, I really do, apart from your better temperatures at home, wish you were here, because Soccer City at night time is absolutely stunning. This sort of futuristic spaceship of a stadium which looms up on the horizon as you approach the southwest outskirts of Johannesburg, with the little lights all dotted around like windows on the outer skin. You come inside and there's about 6-7 tiers that rake back high into the skyline. Huge cavernous bowl. We've got a big full moon above us, kind of acting as an extra floodlight. Flash bulbs popping all around the place, and you really do feel like you're at a big, big sporting occasion. Messi takes the free kick to Rodriguez, comes back to the edge of the box, driven in by Di Maria with his left foot, and the ball is cleared to the halfway line. 5 minutes to half-time. Argentina extremely comfortable at the moment, leading by 2-0. Ball's lobbed into the penalty area. Perez, the little figure in his bright yellow goalkeeping jersey, comes out and makes an easy catch. David Pleat.
I don't know what he looks like, Perez, but there is no such thing as what does a goalkeeper look like. But he's small, he's ball-headed, he's beautiful yellow kit.
You mean he's not your typical goalkeeper?
That's right.
Small bald head. Yeah, he does look like Mini-Me. He looks like, if you know the Austin Powers films, he's a little bit like that, with a little goatee beard. And as Darren Fletcher was saying earlier in commentary, 5'7" tall for a goalkeeper is not tall. And he was the one immediately, actually, when the Argentina goal went in, he knew Tevez was offside straight away without looking at the big screen. He led the protest. The Mexican players saw the replay, and they were very, very unhappy, quite understandably, with the decision. Argentina leading Mexico by 2-0. And here is Tevez, the scorer of the goal, who's been caught with a high boot from Salcido there. So Argentina get themselves a free kick just inside their own half.
Yeah, the trio, Batista, Dos Santos and Hernandez, started very, very brightly. Just gone into the shell of shade in the last few minutes since that second goal of Argentina. They've got to keep working. They've got to stay confident.
Argentina pouring forward again down the right-hand side. Cross will be swung in towards Higuain. Oh, what a good chance, headed wide.
What a chance.
5 yards out, downward header, sliced off his forehead, should have been 3-0.
Completely misjudged it. Came a little bit late off beyond Osorio. He might have seen it late. That's the excuse we can give him. He even appeared to shut his eyes, but he got the technique. He got the ball down, but my word, he got it wide of the post. He should have scored. It should have been a good goal from a good cross.
Should have been his second of this game and his fifth of this World Cup. And I tell you what, if you are a centre-forward playing for this Argentina team, you do fancy yourself scoring a few goals, because they create chances. I was just thinking as well, David, Lionel Messi, who's yet to get on the score sheet but is at the centre of everything. So many players down the years have been compared and called the next Maradona. If Lionel Messi does lead this team to Argentina winning the World Cup, he will really lay a claim down to that title. Exactly what Maradona did in 1986 in Mexico. Bautista for Mexico, cross into the penalty area, well caught by Romero.
Yeah, brilliantly. Yes, you're quite right about Messi, and when you consider only a few days ago he was 23, it seems quite hard to envisage what he could become. I mean, he's a fantastic player, and I know he's disappointed in one or two Champions League games, but if you would have seen him regularly this season in the Spanish League, he was absolutely quite remarkable. Wonderful viewing.
Certainly didn't disappoint against Arsenal at the Nou Camp, scoring 4 there. Driven shot straight at Romero from Marquez. Good 40 yards out. Keeper saw it from a long way and just clutched it firmly into the breadbasket. He'll take his time. Minute and a half of the 45 to play in the first half here at Soccer City. Last 16 action. England, of course, now out of the World Cup. Well beaten by Germany this afternoon by 4-1. And it looks as though Argentina will be going on to play Germany in the quarterfinals. They lead by 2-0. And watching Germany play today, David, and watching these two teams pass the ball around, that's the big frustration, I'm sure, for England fans out here, sitting back home, listening to us, just watching all these players doing what you want England to do. And we see the English players do at club level, but just don't seem to be able to do at international level. Come back to that point in a second, because here comes Juarez, the right back. Shot in, is deflected away, and the ball drops midway inside the Argentina half. Hacked up towards the halfway line. Picked up by Osorio, who made the dreadful mistake to gift Argentina their second goal. He now thumps a long ball forward, and this one comes harmlessly through to Argentina's goalkeeper, Sergio Romero.
Yeah, quite comfortable now for Argentina, spreading very wide defensively. They're going to make Mexico chase the ball. Fullbacks get very wide quickly. That's Heinze and Otamendi. Every time the goalkeeper gets the ball, they push to the touchlines. As soon as the ball's down the field, then they tuck in with their centre-halves again. Mascherano drops back to shield the two centre-backs, and they try and get Messi on the ball. Simple, but simplicity is genius. Very effective.
Free kick for Argentina. Just looking for the fourth official down below, who's going to tell us how many minutes of added time there are to be played. We definitely had a couple of minutes stoppage while the Mexicans debated the first goal. Carlos Tevez's offside header. We've got 2 minutes. Well, exactly 2 minutes debate, 2 minutes added time, and we are now into those 2 minutes. Argentina leading Mexico by 2-0. Juarez plays the ball infield to Tirado. Tirado to Guardado. Thought about the long-range shot, then cuts infield, right in the middle of the Argentina half. Play is spread to the left-hand side. Salcido plays a little 1-2 with Dos Santos. Picks it up against Salcido, then into the path of Tirado. Mexico working it from left to right. Juarez, the right back, curls a little hopeful ball into the penalty area. Chance here. Guardado's trying to get on the end of it, and Argentina eventually get a body and a foot in the way and actually prevent the corner, and the ball goes out for a throw-in, which Mexico have taken quickly. Curling cross in, Hernandez couldn't get the toe on it, and it's in the arms of Romero. He was inches away there from getting a touch, and it could well have been 2-1.
Yeah, probably deserved that goal. Hernandez came in at a rip-roaring pace, and the ball just evaded him and went on to Romero, who looks very confident in the Argentinian goal. Had to survive those early efforts from Salcido and Hernandez, but at the moment Argentina surviving comfortably. I can't see any Mexican wave, and I doubt if there'll be one because there's no boredom here.
Heinze with the header forward for Argentina in the second minute, the last minute of added time at the end of this first half. Heinze is just going to shadow the ball out of play, and Hernandez just showing a bit of youthful exuberance and frustration, gives him a meaty shove in the back, and Heinze makes the most of his fall, shall we say. Disappeared a good 5 yards over the touchline. A couple of the Argentine defenders, Javier Mascherano's in there as well, just having a word with the referee. They didn't particularly like the challenge. Argentina are running down the clock. They lead by 2-0. Possibly, you could argue, both goals slightly fortunate. I mean, Tevez is offside, and the second one completely gifted to them, but beautifully tucked away by Gonzalo Higuain. And there goes the half-time whistle. Argentina lead the game by 2-0. Diego Maradona still has a big smile on his face. Here's a quick question for you, David Pleat. Are Argentina the best team you've seen at this World Cup so far?
They're very good. This is the first time I've had the good fortune to see them live. They are very good. We've seen some pacey sides, but they have so much attacking ability, forward ability, and I think that's so important. I can't see in this game the Mexicans having there's a little bit of trouble.
David,
going on.
I'm going to break in here. There's something going on behind the Mexico dugout. A load of Argentine players and Mexican players involved. I'm not sure exactly what was said to whom. A few of the substitutes getting involved as well, but there's a whole load of FIFA officials down there. Diego Maradona's in there as well, trying to sort things out, talking to Salcido. Oscar Perez was in there, the Mexican goalkeeper. It must all stem from the first goal scored by Carlos Tevez that was well offside. The Mexican players and staff are deeply unhappy. Problems at half-time. Whole load of players coming together. Huge arguments continue as the players disappear down the tunnel. And Mark Chapman at half-time. And on this World Cup day, once again we're discussing linesman's decision. And should we have video replays? Argentina leading by 2-0.
The man working the big screen hasn't learned, has he? Because he was putting up the replay of the first goal again and again and again during half-time.
Well, I've got to say, Mark, when we looked at the replay again, the linesman clearly doesn't flag because the referee looked straight across to his linesman as soon as Tevez's shot was charged down by the goalkeeper and Messi followed in. And there was certainly some discussion as well because they've got these headsets on, the officials. They were certainly being told something by the fourth official. And, you know, on a stage as big as this, it's not as bad as the Lampard decision earlier, quite clearly. But again, it's a decision in the World Cup that's had a huge bearing on this game tonight because it knocked the stuffing out of Mexico.
David, as Argentina come out, Mexico have made their way out. What do the Mexicans have to do to get themselves back into it?
Well, they've got to throw caution to the wind a little bit more, whether they can sacrifice one of their two centre midfield holding players, Tirado and Marquez. That will be a decision they'll probably make after about 15 minutes if the score is still the same. We saw Chile the other evening with 10 men and everyone expected Spain to go on and score more goals against them. They went for the game in the first 20 minutes and managed to get a goal back. It is possible, but I have to say, against such clever attackers as Argentina, the more you push forward, the more you concede space, the more chance you have of conceding.
I think the reason you laughed at that, David, is because you don't really necessarily want them to get back in it, because you in our little score prediction went 2-0 beforehand to Argentina, whereas Darren, on the other hand, went 3-0. So this could be quite a tasty little 22.5 minutes between the two of you. Over to you, Darren.
Well, they've made a change, Mexico. And Pablo Barrera has come on for Bautista, who was a surprise inclusion by Aguirre for this game. I think we all expected Pablo Barrera from Pumas to start the match. He didn't do. Bautista was ineffective. Barrera, though, is basically a like-for-like swap. which means that Mexico will keep the same shape. Argentina line up like this, no changes for them. Romero in goal, Otamendi, Di Michelis, Budisso and Heinze, then Mascherano, either side of him Rodriguez and Di Maria, with Messi supporting Higuain and Tevez. As for Mexico, Perez is the goalkeeper, Mini-Me as Alistair mentioned in the first half, Suarez, Rodriguez, Osorio and Salcido, Marquez and Tirado in front of the back four, then Barrera, Dos Santos and Guardado behind Javier Hernandez of Manchester United. And here is Pablo Barrera on the left hand side, midway inside the Argentina half, just in front of Maradona. Now Guardado, and now back out to Barrera on this left as Mexico look for a goal. They really did start the first half well. Salcido hit the crossbar, Guardado went close, Salcido had another shot, but ultimately Argentina have this comfortable lead. Tevez with a close range header that was quite clearly offside, and then Higuain 12 minutes before the break after a dreadful error by Osorio, who seemed to stumble over the ball and allow the Real Madrid player in to score his fourth goal of the World Cup here in South Africa. Now Mexico have got a corner on the left hand side, and they've sent Marquez into the penalty area, they've sent Rodriguez in there, Tirado is in there as well, and we've played 90 seconds in the second half. Corner swung in to the danger area, headed away by the nearest Argentine defender, who is Higuain, and then Salcido for the third time in the match tries his luck from distance with his right foot, and he's dragged it well wide. Green shirts, white shorts for Mexico, blue and white striped shirts, navy shorts and navy socks for Argentina. I don't understand why they've not got black shorts on. It makes no sense at all.
Also, the Argentinians should have block numbers. In a competition as important as this, FIFA should make absolutely certain that the numbers on the shirts, particularly when we're, not just us, we're very, very high up, quite a long way from the play, but think of this marvellous ball with these thousands and thousands of spectators who are a fair distance from the play. They like to see the numbers clearly, and they should be block numbers on the back of striped shirts.
That's told them then. That's David Pleat with us.
My little rant
on
today,
5 Live. He's going to sit down for a couple of minutes now, take a couple of deep breaths as the game continues. Argentina 2, Mexico 0 on 5 Live. Cleared away down the right hand side by Suarez. Barrera won't latch onto that, but there's a mistake by Di Michelis, and now Barrera's got the ball. Di Michelis, though, the Bayern Munich defender, is able to make the challenge, and he puts it out for a throw-in right by the corner flag on the left. The only goal that Argentina have conceded in the World Cup so far came from a Di Michelis mistake, and he almost gifted an opportunity there to Barrera. Salcido. And now Tirado floated out towards Barrera again on this left-hand side, just outside the penalty area, in by Barrera. Two defenders went for the same ball, Heinze and Budisso. They got just enough on it to clear, and now it's all the way back to Francisco Rodriguez of PSV Eindhoven, midway inside his own half, as Mexico in green, playing from right to left in this second half, will regroup. Here's Guardado, who was lively in patches in the first half, but we didn't really see the consistency from Mexico's play. And just like at Wembley, David, they're fantastic in possession, Mexico, and look like they can create opportunities, but they're very, very vulnerable defensively. They do concede soft goals.
Yeah, they're tidy, but probably not powerful defensively. Funnily enough, when you mentioned Wembley, I thought you were going to say something about the pitch. I was reading that the same company that put in the Wembley pitch put in all these pitches here in Argentina. The pitches are absolutely magnificent, and yet Wembley, strangely, we can't get right. How about that one?
Well, there we go. 2-0 to Argentina. And Mexico have got the possession just short of the halfway line on 5 Live. Couple more games tomorrow. Holland, Slovakia at 3, and then Brazil, Chile at 7:30. So far it's a good tournament for the teams from South America, as it's hoisted long by the Argentine defence, and Rodriguez will allow it to roll through to his goalkeeper Perez in all yellow away to our right hand side. He wastes no time in bowling it out quickly to Salcido, and now Guardado on the halfway line, and back to Carlos Salcido, the left back of Mexico, and then out towards the far side, and Suarez forward to Tirado, back to Suarez just outside the penalty area, thought about the shot, feeds Barrera, angle of the box left side, floated in towards Javier Hernandez, too high for him, and Heinze will allow it to roll behind for a goal kick. David Pleat.
Yeah, Barrera had a great opportunity there to make ground into the 6-yard box, but he decided to take the easy option, crossed it with his left foot. It was just beyond everyone, and goes to waste, much to the disappointment of Aguirre, the manager. Should be noted, that Sven Eriksson looked after this lot in the initial stages. Of course, after Hugo Sanchez, a very famous Mexican centre-forward, was in charge of the team. Eriksson came in, didn't do too well, and then they went back to the tried and tested Mr. Aguirre, and I think he's made a damn good job of it.
Here's Messi running forward for Argentina, and then he runs into Marquez, his Barcelona teammate, gets back to his feet. Marquez makes the challenge, and now Tevez has got the ball on the right hand side for Argentina, who lead 2-0. Mascherano and now Otamendi. 10 months in charge for Eriksson. Aguirre, we talk about the 86 World Cup which Argentina won. He was part of the Mexico team that reached the quarter-finals in their own country back in 1986. And just if you're a Mexico supporter listening to us on 5 Live and you're looking for a glimmer of hope in this match, it's worth mentioning that the 3 goals that Mexico have scored in the competition have come in the last 26 minutes of matches. So they do finish games quite strongly. So at 2-0, there's still a sniff, David.
Yeah, you're hoping. I think it's a quirk.
I think it's a fact. They've scored all 3 goals in the last 26 minutes, quirk or not.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they can do it tonight. We'll have a drink later on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So Argentina lead 2-0, 51 minutes played here on 5 Live. England beaten emphatically by Germany earlier. And here's Tevez for Argentina, just outside the Mexico penalty area. Gets the rebound, right foot shot, brilliant goal! That's a fantastic goal by Carlos Tevez, the strike of the tournament. Argentina 3, Mexico 0. You cannot stop a blockbuster like that.
Wonderful effort, marvellous shot, a quick turn, put everything into it, and it absolutely flew past Perez on his left side. He had no chance, whether it had been 5'8" or 6'8", he would not have stopped that. He's looking disconsolately down the field at the moment. It was a wonderful turn, superb strike, absolutely, took a chance and hit it into the roof of the net with brilliant, absolute brilliant power and accuracy.
Have we seen a goal as good as that in the World Cup so far? I can't remember it if we have. That's a fantastic strike of the ball.
It is. If you see his action as well, both feet off the ground, knee over the ball. Reminds me a little bit of Bobby Charlton, believe it or not. I think it was against Mexico at Wembley many, many years ago in '66 when he drove that ball from about 30 yards with a beautiful poise and direction and power.
So 3-0, and I'll just say to you now, David, whether it's a fact or a quirk, they did an awful lot in the last 26 minutes today, don't they, Mexico?
Might get 4.
So 3-0 to Argentina. It's been another excellent display by Diego Maradona's side. They've got this look about them that they are going to score goals against whoever they play. There's so much attacking talent in the starting 11. And then you look at the bench, the likes of Milito has had such a fantastic season for Inter Milan, can't get a game. Here they come again with Gabriel Heinze down the left-hand side. You feel now they can probably tighten the screw. I think the one man who's desperate for a goal is the fella that's got the ball right now, the mercurial Messi. Tried to lift it forward towards Higuain, took a deflection, and then Higuain manages to dispossess Suarez, the right back for Mexico. Now here is Tevez, who's on a hat-trick. Got a couple of those for Manchester City in the Premier League, of course, this season. And that second goal he's just scored here tonight, there might have been some doubt about the first one with the offside, but I don't care whether Perez is 5'7" or 6'7", you can't stop those.
You can't. And you know, all that talk, Darren, before the tournament, how can he leave out Zanetti, how can he leave out Cambiasso? I can mention others who I've seen over the period of time in Argentina, wonderful players, D'Alessandro, Cavinaggi, Milito, the other Milito. They've got such good players, and they're not only strong and skillful, they are very good competitors. They don't mind a challenge, they like a tackle, but they've got a good way of playing too.
Argentina 3, Mexico 0 on 5 Live. Argentina cruising into the quarter-finals of the World Cup, where they'll take on Germany in Cape Town next Saturday at 3 o'clock. And if you've got something planned, I'd cancel it, because that is going to be one heck of a World Cup fixture. It really is. 2 fantastic nations. We saw what the Germans are capable of against England this afternoon, and we're seeing again here tonight in Cape Town, in Johannesburg rather, just how good this Argentina team is, packed with individual flair. They've been moulded into a decent side, a fluid unit, and they look like they can score goal after goal after goal. The quote that I heard before the tournament, which I found most interesting, was, if the team can manage the coach, Argentina can win the World Cup. And so far, despite all the histrionics, Maradona has managed not to muck it up. And it must be hard to mess it up with all of this talent at your disposal.
Yes, if they keep the discipline and they play properly, you know, it's not as difficult to manage if you've got outstanding players, because outstanding players manage themselves.
55 minutes gone. David Pleat with us on 5 Live. Here's Suarez for Mexico. They look a bit of a sorry outfit now. I think that third goal from Tevez has just knocked the final bit of stuffing out of them. Barrera on the left-hand side, back towards Salcido. Challenge made on him by Maxi Rodriguez. And Maradona just moves to the edge of his technical area on the touchline and barks out some encouragement to his team. Maybe just exchanges a word with Salcido as well as he prepares to take the Mexico throw-in down the left-hand side. To Pablo Barrera. And then back to Carlos Salcido, flicked into the middle towards Javier Hernandez, who can't escape Burdisso. And the Argentina defender clears towards the halfway line, and Carlos Tevez, who got a shove in the back from Osorio, and as he tried to cover himself up, the ball hits him on the head. Rodriguez has lost it. Carlos Tevez runs into the penalty area, backtracking superbly well with Suarez, the right back, and that denied Tevez the chance of a hat-trick.
I'm afraid another awful mistake by Osorio, taking his time on the ball, just dwelling, getting robbed from behind, lacking urgency.
He started the tournament quite well, Osorio, David. He was released at the end of the season by Stuttgart, so he needs a club. Any manager that might have thought, I'll just take a last look at him against Argentina, might be changing his mind tonight.
Yeah, they might have left the stadium already. Unfortunately, but that would never worry me if I was looking at a player. Players do make mistakes. You have to look at their all-round game. But, of course, it's not easy tonight. He's playing against the best.
Here's Otamendi, given a chance to start tonight instead of Gutierrez, who missed the Greek match through suspension and hasn't forced his way back in. There's a foul by Rodriguez on Higuain, and the man from Real Madrid picks himself up, and Argentina will have a free kick leading here against Mexico by 3-0.
Yeah, Messi took the free kick there. It was so quick that the Italian referee made him take it again. He was too quick for the referee. He didn't see him put the ball down.
Long diagonal ball over to the far side of the field towards Benfica's Angel Di Maria. Challenge made on him by the right back Suarez, and it's out for a throw in to Argentina midway inside the Mexico half.
Yeah, and the cheers of the crowd, have almost silenced the vuvuzelas. The people that really come and love their football are enjoying this game. It's not like the circus of many of the games that we've seen, where it's been the crowd and the face paint and all that type of thing. This is football as it should be.
It's the first game that sounds like a football match. Here's Higuain for Argentina, into the penalty area, pulls it back, opportunity possibly there for Maxi Rodriguez, can't get the shot away, played back to the keeper dangerously by Tirado, and under pressure from Messi, Perez just managed to get that away.
Messi desperate for that first goal, anticipating the back pass, getting into an awful mess there. The centre-back once again, Osorio.
55 minutes gone here in the stadium known as the Calabash Soccer City Stadium here in Johannesburg, with the flashbulbs still going on. There's a small party of Argentina supporters on the far side in their blue and white striped shirts, who from time to time bounce up and down in unison and start to create a little bit of a ripple effect on the far side. They're really enjoying this tournament, and there's an awful lot of Argentina supporters who have made the trip to South Africa. They're probably, outside of the host nation here, David, the best supported nation.
I would think so. Very well supported, particularly behind the goal to our left-hand side tonight. Massive support. But I'm not surprised they're bouncing up and down. It's not just the football that would make them do that. It's quite cold too. I'm sure if we could bounce up and down as we hold our microphones, we would do that too.
You're right. Real chill in the air here in Johannesburg tonight. Fantastic in the day. It's temperatures that aren't quite as warm as back home, but as soon as the light starts to fade, it's like somebody's flicked a switch, and it's like sitting in a fridge here in Soccer City. We've all got the layers on. Not stopping the football though tonight, the free-flowing, fluent, imaginative play of Argentina, the best team I've seen in the tournament, and certainly the team that everybody's got to beat if you want to be world champions in South Africa this summer. Here come Mexico, trailing 3-0. Tirado in possession, stabbed out towards the far side to Dos Santos, and out of play for a throw-in.
Doesn't make many bad passes, Tirado. He's very safe with his passes, same as Marcus from that centre midfield position. But Mexico now are going to have to make a change. They haven't been able to get back into the game, and Aguirre is going to do something about it. He's looking to make a change.
Going to bring on Guillermo Franco, the player who was released by West Ham at the end of the season, who started the other matches that Mexico have played in the competition. Here's Guardado, just outside the Argentina penalty area, out towards Barrera on the left-hand side, gets away from Otamendi, gets towards the byline, still going Barrera, and in the end he got greedy and went for goal himself and hit the side netting when he got 3 in green shirts in very good positions.
Oh, naughty boy, did brilliantly, beat 2 men, got to the byline, and then hit the side netting when he must pass the ball back from that position. You worked so hard to get to the byline. He got there then, and then went and hit the side netting.
I think he'd seen Mike on the other day, hadn't he, for Brazil, and thought I can score from there as well.
Well, if he meant that, I'm a Dutchman.
David Von Pleet with us on 5 Live.
Safe hands.
And 3-0 to Argentina, with just over an hour played here in Soccer City. The Vuvuzelas get a little bit louder. Mexico looking for a way back into this match. And here's Tirado for them, one of 3 players who have captained Mexico in the tournament so far. Guardado hits it hard, always rising, and over the crossbar, and a goal kick to Argentina. And here's the change in Guardado, who's just had that shot, who at times has looked a threat for Mexico, is going to be replaced by Franco, which means at last Aguirre's got 2 strikers on the pitch, David.
Yeah, it may help them, of course. I think scored something like about 4 in 16 games, did he, for West Ham, something like that. Decent finisher, but he'll need to do a massive job tonight to change this game around.
So Franco on and Guardado off, with Argentina leading 3-0 and 16 minutes gone in the second half. Here's Higuain on this right-hand side, joint top scorer in the competition so far with Asamoah Gyan of Ghana. Forward now to Dos Santos on the halfway line for Mexico. Osorio has given the ball away again, and now Tevez latches onto it. Messi's available. Tevez towards the penalty area, could have played Messi in, elected not to, and the Mexican defender makes the challenge. Now here's Juarez running over the halfway line out towards Salcido. Salcido is midway inside the Argentina half, and he's gone for goal again with his right foot. Romero could have left that, but he turns it round the post anyway for a corner. He's got the shoot on sight policy tonight, Carlos Salcido.
Yeah, he's not frightened to hit the ball. He's very confident. The PSV fullback, and the goalkeeper palms that away unnecessarily. It was going wide of his post. He's giving them the benefit of a corner, Mexico.
On this left-hand side, Pablo Barrera's come across to take it, rolls it short to Tirado, then back to Pablo Barrera, floated in first time into the middle, free header over the top of the crossbar from Franco, and it was an opportunity. In fact, it's Javier Hernandez who got his head to that ball, and he has to hit the target from there, David, because no Argentina defender is near him.
I didn't think it was a bad effort, actually, Darren. It wasn't the easiest ball, came with a bit of pace. I think if you look at the expression on the player's face, he thought he might have done better, but it came quite quickly. It was from the left-hand side. He didn't quite get his head round it well enough, but I didn't think that was a bad effort.
Well, he's known as Chikorito, which translates to the little P. Had he been a big P, he might have scored with that. It came off his head like a P and floated over the crossbar, didn't it, for a harmless goal kick to Argentina, who lead 3-0. Maradona just discussing things with his coaching staff again. And Mexico have got a throw in right in front of the former Argentina captain, and it's towards Javier Hernandez, then lifted forward into the penalty area in the direction of Giovanni Dos Santos, and Gabriel Heinze heads it behind for another corner to Mexico.
Very good in the air is Heinze. Did well on the cover there, coming across, conceded the corner. It was he who scored, of course, from that corner, which opened the account for Argentina in this World Cup.
So corner to Mexico on the left-hand side, short again from Barrera. This time it's to Juarez, showed too much of the ball to Tevez, who's back there helping out, flicks it up, and then via a deflection from Juarez, it's gone out for a throw into Argentina on this right-hand side. There's a real infectious enthusiasm about the Argentina team. It comes from the coach. He's more of a cheerleader, isn't he, than an organiser. He's got the experience behind him. But they seem a very, very together unit. They seem like they're really enjoying it.
You know, I noticed, Dan, they defend from the front, you know. All the front players are very quick to put the foot in and make a challenge and try and force a mistake. We said that very early on in the first couple of minutes when we saw it springs from the enthusiasm of Tevez. He chases the ball, goes to attack defenders who have possession, and then the other players follow him in, and if they don't follow him, he makes all sorts of gestures to them, and it makes them pressure early. I think they're very determined to win that ball back early, and it comes from the early pressuring of the front men.
Maxi Rodriguez forward towards Gonzalo Higuain. Sliding challenge comes in from Rodriguez. Higuain goes to ground. Salcido picks up the loose ball and then hits it diagonally out towards the far side into space and into Pablo Barrera, who switched wings from the left to the right. Back it goes now to Tirado, midway point of the Argentina half, towards the edge of the penalty area towards Barrera, and then out towards Juarez, who's hugging the touchline on the right-hand side, moves in field of Heinze, crossed in towards Dos Santos, cleared away by De Michelis, and then headed forward by Tirado. Hernandez heads it on, and Heinze, the left-back, the former Manchester United and Real Madrid player, will try and let it run out of play. They, for some reason, smashed it straight at the linesman on the far side. I would have thought he was quite popular, the linesman, for allowing that goal for Tevez in the first half. Maybe not. 3-0 to Argentina here on 5 Live. And the ball is on the far side of the field with Giovanni Dos Santos crossed in towards Franco. The long hair of Di Michaelis clears. That's an awkward crossfield hit by Higuain that hits a Mexican player, and it's gone behind for a goal kick to Argentina. David Plea.
Yeah, Argentina just taking the foot off the gas a little bit, which you understand at 3-0. Maradona there imploring them to make use of the ball, and make Mexico run, make them chase the ball, use the width. But they have taken the foot off the gas. Mexico are coming into the game, but they still don't look a team with punch.
Little discussion again in front of the Argentina bench involving Maradona and a burly looking man who looks like he could be chief of security for Argentina, as it's forward towards Tevez, who's on a hat-trick here. Higuain's already got one for Argentina in this competition against South Korea, and Argentina have got a throw-in midway inside the Mexico half as Juan Sebastian Veron prepares to enter the fray. The reigning South American Footballer of the Year, the veteran, enticed back into the international fold by Maradona after a couple of fantastic seasons with the Estudiantes. Maybe unlucky not to start this match tonight after a very impressive performance against Greece in the final game. And it's another old hand to send on with a bit of experience just to see Argentina through, David.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't quite do what he should have done perhaps at Chelsea, and Manchester United didn't live up to his reputation, but he seems to have reinvented himself back home. He's enjoying his football, and Maradona really thinks a lot of him, and it's very important to have that know-how in the centre of the midfield.
Suarez with a crossfield ball out to Salcido. He's just about abandoned defensive duties now, Salcido, playing almost as an outside left. Moves into a more central position and gives it to Suarez, the right back, who's also pushing on now. Now to Giovanni Dos Santos, who's not really been able to unlock this Argentina defence tonight. Forward towards Franco, intercepted by Di Michaelis, and the man from Bayern Munich can bring it away into the feet of Tevez, and then via Maxi Rodriguez it goes back to Romero, and he's got the ball on the edge of his 6-yard box.
Messi is quiet at the moment, which is a very unusual thing to say.
Well, Argentina are, aren't they, really? They've got that third goal, and they've got the feeling now that maybe they can just sit back and enjoy it. Anyway, it's the midway point of the second half. Argentina in complete cruise control, and here's Alistair Bruce Paul.
Thank you, Darren. Always a worry for opposition teams when you're 3-0 behind, and there's a fella called Juan Sebastian Veron just waiting to enter the field of play. Franco trying to control the ball for Mexico on the edge of the Argentina penalty area. His shot is blocked. There's a foul on Otamendi down there. In fact, it's Di Maria, I think, who might have been caught. Argentina will get the free kick. Juan Sebastian Veron will come on and replace Carlos Tevez, who just gives it a tiny little shake of the head. He's on a potential World Cup hat-trick here, so that's not going to come. Diego Maradona stands there in his grey suit. He applauds Carlos Tevez, gives him a huge, huge bear hug, grips him round the neck, doesn't want to let him go, but Carlos Tevez, like any good striker, wanted to stay on, David, and he wanted the third goal.
I'm not sure, like any good striker, wanted to reciprocate the bear hug. I thought he just walked into Maradona. Maradona wanted to hug him. He wanted to hug him back. But I didn't think Tevez quite showed that he wanted to hug him back. He walked straight into him and almost pushed the little fellow over.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't upset Diego because everything is going his way at the moment. Argentina are leading Mexico by 3-0. Tevez has scored 2 of them, and Veron has now replaced him. Mexico come forward. Dos Santos, just outside the Argentina penalty area, passes out left to Salcido. Salcido gets it back onto his left foot, crosses into the near post. Di Michaelis gets a head on it. Shot at the back post. Will it cross the line? No, Eitze heads it away. And the linesman indeed signals that the ball didn't cross the line. I'm pretty sure he's got that decision right. He, of course, was the chap who didn't spot Carlos Tevez, was 3 yards offside in the first half of the first goal. Salcido's cross into the box is intercepted. Higuain plays the ball to Messi. Messi is suddenly surrounded by a couple of green shirts, but as ever, just zips away from them, plays a little 1-2 with Veron, who's so easy to spot, with the shiny bald head and the socks slightly rolled down. Has a real sort of languid movement about him as well, and Argentina will come back to Sergio Romero, their goalkeeper. So a little scare for them there. They lead Mexico by 3-0. Tevez with 2 of them, as I said. The first was offside. Higuain got the second from Osorio's mistake. And if you are an England fan, and I know all England fans will be sitting at home this evening with a big dark cartoon rain cloud over their heads with the rain pouring down. But you just can't help smile at Argentina's football. And Carlos Tevez' second goal and Argentina's third was an absolute screamer. A real delight to watch this evening at the start of the second half. A bit like Suarez's goal for Uruguay yesterday, but further out. Put his whole body into the shot, whipped it round it, and went crashing into the top corner. An absolutely fantastic goal. Argentina lead Mexico by 3-0. Dos Santos is going to lay it back to Juarez, who seems to have moved into a position kind of in front of his back three now, with Barrera coming on and playing on the right-hand side. Tirado into Hernandez. Lovely turn. Hernandez with the shot. Fantastic goal from Javier Hernandez. Gives Mexico a little bit of joy here in Soccer City. They trail 3-1. And I tell you what, Sir Alex Ferguson will enjoy watching that. The Manchester United striker, just 21 years old, showed such a lovely turn on the edge of the box and rifles it into the roof of the net. Argentina 3, Mexico 1.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball. He just did a little dip dummy. I think it was Burdisso that he took. Went to the right, veered to the left and let it run across the body and hit a left foot, a straight shot above the right arm of Romero as he stretched. But it was a beautiful turn by the youngster. Could easily been fouled by Otamendi as he twisted, but he scorched the net. A fine effort, well-deserved goal.
Well, just talking about Carlos Tevez' second goal tonight, but that, again, must be right up there in this World Cup with goals scored. Just going back to others, I mean, Quagliarella's chip for Italy, Tevez's tonight, and Hernandez. What a fantastic turn. Well, what a wonderful finish. Almost ripped the net off its moorings. Keeper did not have a chance. Now then, have Mexico got a little bit more to trouble Argentina here? Veron comes speeding away down the right-hand side. Sliding tackle on him from Rodriguez. So the ball goes out for an Argentina throw. David Pleat.
Been a bit of a goal festival today compared with the rest of the World Cup. 4 goals here, 5 this afternoon. All of a sudden it's happening.
I can see a smug smile on our presenter Mark Chapman's face. I've got a feeling he might have gone for 3-1 in the sweep. I'll tell you what though, just to give myself a shout, 4-2. How about that with, how long have we got to go? We've got 18 minutes to play. It's not out of the question. Argentina may be stung by conceding the goal. Certainly enjoying the football this evening on the day that England have gone out of the World Cup. Well beaten by Germany by 4-1. Argentina lead Mexico here by 3-1. Argentina at the moment heading towards a really entertaining quarter-final. It promises to be in Cape Town on Saturday against Germany. And they are in the side of the draw that Spain and Portugal are in as well. So you could possibly imagine a sort of Argentina-Spain or Germany-Spain, Germany-Portugal semi-final. We've got some cracking football to come and, of course, full commentary on all the World Cup games here on your World Cup station, BBC Radio 5 Live. Other sports news for you today. Germany had joy in the European Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel winning that ahead of Lewis Hamilton. England's cricketers have already wrapped up the one-day series against Australia, made a bit of a meal of it, but chased down 213 to win by a wicket at Old Trafford. So they're 3-0 up with 2 to play. And here come Mexico again. They're in their familiar green shirts, white shorts, white socks. Inside the Argentina half, Salcido loves to get forward from left back. Has a wonderful right foot as well. Rattled the crossbar in the first half. Ainse comes sprinting across the pitch to intercept. Argentina almost gave the ball away. They get it back. Ainse goes for the diagonal 40-yard pass to Messi, who casually leans towards it with his left shoulder, brings the ball down. Mexico claim handball. Look at Messi go now. Just absolutely skirts past 2 defenders, still going, tries to tuck a little ball through to Higuain, and it's blocked.
Yeah, that was the Messi image that we've seen so many times in Barcelona. Coming in from the right-hand side, weaving with his left foot, and then as he gets towards the centre, reversing a little shallow pass between the centre-back and the full-back for Higuain to go on to. Wonderful play.
Could be more goals in this. Giovanni Dos Santos just tricking his way into the Argentina penalty area. Takes 2 defenders to deal with him. So Mexico get a throw on the right-hand side. They haven't quite given the ghost up just yet. Osorio plays across the field to Tirado, 40 yards from goal. Here's Hernandez again, just trying to make space for himself on the edge of the box. A real blast from the Vuvuzelas as Argentina come forward on the break. Messi's pass through is cut out. So it's picked up by Salcido, who just knocks the ball past Maxi Rodriguez too far. And it runs out for a throw. Argentina 3, Mexico 1 with 15 minutes to play.
Yeah, Salcido's almost playing as an auxiliary outside left now. He's getting well forward from that left position. He looks quite tired actually. He's had a few efforts at goal. He's got well forward. but the Mexicans are still are in this game. They could get a second goal quite comfortably, because Argentina now are sitting a little bit complacently, just relying on getting the ball up to Messi, who basically is the second striker now with Higuain.
Having a little chuckle at Diego Maradona there, who felt that one of his players was fouled, and certainly made that clear to the referee. He's so expressive. I mean, he always had such a presence as a player, and still does now. The squat, powerful little figure in his shiny grey suit, striding up and down the touchline. There's about 3 fouls there, surely, on Nicolas Otamendi, the right back, who was making a good run down the right-hand side. So Argentina get the free kick, and Javier Aguirre, who is, of course, the opposing manager for Mexico this evening. I did just want to mention him, and your dentist, David Pleater, you mentioned right at the start of the commentary tonight, because Javier Aguirre, I think, has the whitest and the biggest set of pearlers in his mouth that I've seen at this World Cup. He's got almost cartoon huge shiny white teeth, so I think your dentist will be very proud of those. Here's Messi, who's...
Are they real?
I don't know. Veron has lost out here. Dos Santos speeding away up towards the halfway line. Otamendi with a crunching challenge on him. Dos Santos goes flying. Argentina continue. Messi's just flickering and featuring a little bit more as we move on in the second half here. Veron calmly strokes a pass across the turf here at Soccer City, which is getting ever browner and more parched every time I see it. I know they get the sprinklers on it, but certainly the goal mouth away to our left-hand side is sort of like when you watch the cricket from the West Indies and those sort of dry, bare outfields. Ball through here for Di Maria to chase. Perez comes hurtling out and clears away for Mexico. And as ever with all these pitches in South Africa, so many times we've seen the ball passed across the floor and it just runs away from you really, really fast.
I think they cut the grass very short. I think you'll see as soon as this game finishes, 6 or 7 groundsmen immediately with their mowers cutting the grass. Seems so unnecessary for us people, but evidently that's the way the turf reacts best.
Higuain has just fallen over the ball here, so Mexico have it back. Were they to get another goal, I think that would be interesting, just to see Argentina how they cope with a little bit of pressure. But you do feel, with the attacking talent they have in their team and the striking talent they still have on their bench, and this little fella as well with the number 10 on his back that Maradona used to wear, Messi, another little mazy dribble from him across the Mexico half. Argentina very comfortable in possession. Messi with a lovely little ball here. It's eventually cut out and intercepted. So here's Franco for Mexico, shadowed by Veron, but Mexico keep possession inside their half, and Salcido comes driving forward to Hernandez, who scored such a wonderful goal for Mexico this evening. They trail by 3-1, 13 minutes to play. Higuain to Messi. We're just waiting for Lionel Messi to score a goal in this World Cup as well, David.
Yes, he's just gone into a little bit of a shell at the moment, because what's happening is...
Well, Barrera's...
Watch this attack.
Yeah, Barrera's driving forward from Mexico and tries to use the outside of his right boot to release Franco. Lovely bit of skill from Mascherano with a dummy. He's going to get caught in possession here, just about gets the ball away. Well, I think it was Dos Santos' tackle, actually, that shot the ball onto Rodriguez. Rodriguez is fouled for Argentina. He stays down, and Diego Maradona's going to make a change. His second change of the game, and it's Jonas Gutierrez who is going to come on, and he is going to replace Benfica's winger Angel Di Maria. David Pleat.
Yeah, I don't think it's a change that will be of any major significance. I think what's happening here is the fact that Higuain and Messi are playing in the defensive half for the Mexicans, the attacking half for the Argentinians, and the rest of the players are saying get on with it. They give them the ball and they're just supporting now and staying behind the ball. They're not going to concede another goal. They're going to make sure at all times they've got 8 players in their own half. They may be pushing out, they may be compacting the space, but there's no attempt for anyone to come now. Certainly Veron hasn't got the pace, Mascherano hasn't got the pace, and they don't want to anyway. They don't want to go and support Messi and Higuain, and when they give it Messi, he can take seconds out of the game.
Diego Maradona frustrated with another decision. When he's frustrated, you certainly know about it. Just a whirl of arms in the technical area. He, of course, at this World Cup, trying to become only the 3rd man to win the World Cup as a player and a coach. Mario Zagallo did it for Brazil. Franz Beckenbauer has done it for Germany. And what a story it would be if on July the 11th it is Argentina who win the World Cup, and you're convinced it'll be Diego Maradona who'll be the first man to hoist it high above his head. Got so much stick after he'd taken over the team, lost 4 of the first 6 qualifiers, that horrendous 6-1 defeat away to Bolivia. But at the moment in South Africa, everything seems to be going his way, and his team are absolutely ram-jam full of goals. They've got some defending to do here. Barrera's crossing to the back post. Hainsey with a dive header away. Did really well for his team there. Gutierrez is clearance is sliced. Ainte's stayed down. He's taken a whack on the head, and a free kick has gone his way as well. But good defending at the back there,
Yeah,
David.
I don't know if he did take a whack on his head. What he did do was head magnificently away. We said about that earlier in commentaries. He's very good on the cover heading, and he certainly had to be good on the cover there, because he absolutely denied a goal to Marquez, who was flashing in at that back post.
Well, we've seen 2 clearances from him right off his own goal line in this second half, and again, that's the other thing that's always been questioned about Argentina, whether they would be able to hold out, whether they would concede too many, whether it would be a case of we score 5 and you'll get 4. But Ainte's done the job well in this second half. Higuain tries to bring a long ball down on the top of his boot. He can't control it, and it comes through to the Mexican keeper Perez.
Very interesting your point, Alistair, about Zagello and about Beckenbauer, and possibly here Maradona.
Yep.
I wonder, Graham Taylor early on was talking very sensibly about football people advancing to make helpful decisions in football because they understand the game. Bobby Moore, captain in the England World Cup side in '66, but was terribly abused in terms of giving him some responsibility in the development of football when he retired.
Here comes Osorio for Mexico. 9 minutes to play. Argentina leading by 3-1, so just 9 minutes away from a quarter-final appearance, and an appetising one at that. Cape Town on Saturday against Germany, who really did demolish England this afternoon in Bloemfontein, beating them by 4-1. Barrera's just run it out of play on the far side. But the big topic of the day after the 2 last 16 games today will be the linesman, will be this constant debate we have about video technology being used for crucial decisions. England trailing by 2-1. If you haven't heard, and I'm sure you have, the Lampard shot that crashed down off the bar and was a couple of feet over the line, but the linesman didn't spot it. England, of course, go on to lose 4-1. I think the whole discussion about that decision may mask the fact that actually Germany were a lot better than England. And Carlos Tevez, with his first goal in this game, a good couple of yards offside as well, and a real commotion after that because the Mexican players saw the replay on the big screen, saw it was a mile offside, and there was a good 2 or 3 minutes there as they surrounded the linesman and the referee and tried to get the decision overturned. It wasn't. Argentina lead by 3-1, and those are the big stories from the World Cup today on BBC Radio 5 Live. Our commentaries tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Holland against Slovakia in Durban. 7:30 in the evening, David Pleat will be with the team for Brazil against Chile here in Johannesburg at Ellis Park. And then the last 16 games will finish on Tuesday. Paraguay against Japan from Pretoria is your 3 o'clock commentary. And the 7:30 games are belter, Spain against Portugal in Cape Town. Argentina leading 3-1, corner to defend, headed away. Salcido with a cracking shot that goes flying over the crossbar and behind for a goal kick to Argentina. So, David, having seen Germany today and what they did to England, and having seen Argentina this evening, who do you reckon?
Very, very difficult to say. You know, it's I think football's a daft game to predict. Sometimes you have to see the first 20 minutes. I saw the first 20 minutes today, and I thought England got an uphill struggle because I thought we were sluggish and they were sharp, and I thought they got better width. And we'll have to see how the first 20 minutes go, of course, when they play each other. I have to say...
Here's Messi. Just come back to you in a second, David. Messi with a layoff here to Gutierrez. Gutierrez, another one of the Argentines who favours the long swishing ponytail, which slaps on the shoulders as he runs.
He also favours his own ball sometimes when he's playing in a forward position.
Didn't start today. Did start in the first couple of games under Diego Maradona at this World Cup, but Otamendi got the nod at right back this evening. Gutierrez back from suspension. Here's Veron with a little tickle ball over the top towards Messi. He tried to control it with his head, a foot up on him. So he wins the free kick, and Argentina just sort of taking the steam out of the game. 6 minutes to play. They're comfortable. They lead by 3-1, and they have this free kick in the centre circle. Of course, Wimbledon coverage will continue. It's been a rest day today on 5 Live tomorrow from midday. Oh, nice bit of skill from Otamendi here on the right-hand side. Finds Maxi Rodriguez. Going to try and beat 2 players. Rodriguez, who of course himself scored a stunning goal 4 years ago to beat Mexico in extra time in the last 16. He's taken a knock here.
Just to finish that point about Germany, I think a lot will depend on who can influence the game in the early part of the game.
Yep.
Ozil, obviously important to Germany. Messi, very important. to Argentina. How will they keep Messi quiet? I mean, today they played Schweinsteiger and Kadiri as two holding players. Mexico have played two holding players here today, Tirado and Marquez, but they haven't been able to quell the outstanding play at times of Argentina going forward. They've got so many goals in their locker, Argentina. I just think it might be hard for Germany, but Germany will give them a damn good game. Certainly they played very well, I thought, today, regardless of any other aspect that we might think about England. They were clearly the superior side.
Well, talking attacking power, and we've talked about it throughout this World Cup, Tevez has scored 2 tonight. Higuain now has 4 in the competition. Lionel Messi's on the field. You've still got Sergio Aguero on the bench, Diego Milito, who scored both goals in the Champions League final, and Martin Palermo as well, who's a big favourite of Diego Maradona. So they're certainly not sure of goals. Javier Hernandez, who scored a blockbuster for Mexico in this second half. Mexico trailing by 3-1. Dos Santos with a little flick ball to Juarez. Juarez manages to keep control and lays it back to Salcido. Long way out, he's going to hit one, doesn't get this one right, and smashes it well wide of the left-hand post. 3-1 to Argentina with 4 minutes to play, and Argentina are going to make another change here. It's Javier Pastore who will come on, and Maxi Rodriguez, who of course took the knock, will come off. And there you go. Once you've done your work for Diego Maradona, you always get the little kiss on the cheek and the big bear hug.
Yeah, the players must look forward to that. I should say the definition of optimism, if you've been in this World Cup and seen this game today, is Salcido. he shoots from his own 18-yard box.
Well, he hit an absolute screamer in the first half that really caught out Romero in the Argentina goal. I must just mention as well, the Mexican commentator I spotted on the way into the media centre when we arrived today, who was practising, you were with me, David, he was practising his commentary for a goal, and you know how the Latin Americans love to go for the big goal, and he was doing that and holding it, and I'm just imagining him when Hernandez rocketed that one into the top of the net. He's probably still going right now.
It's a good shout.
It was a good long shout. It could be another long-range strike here from Osorio. Dipping ball, bouncing into the penalty area. Mexico shooting from anywhere. Ball goes behind for a goal kick. And Argentina are looking comfortable and on their way to the quarter-finals. Javier Pastore, who's just come on for them, is only winning his 3rd cap. And I think a nice touch from Diego Maradona as well. He's now used 20 of his 23 squad players at this World Cup. Obviously had the opportunity to use a few as well in the final group game against Greece. But again, this squad's so packed with talent, you do sense he will be calling on a few of these players as they move further through the tournament. You do sense as well Argentina would be a good bet, a really good bet, to be here on Sunday, July the 11th for the World Cup final. Throw in for Mexico, 2.5 minutes of the 90 to play. They have got themselves a goal in this second half, a really good one as well, but it looks like it's going to be a last 16 exit for them for the 5th World Cup in a row. They are experts at getting out of the group, but they just cannot get beyond that stage, and they've run into a really fluid, attacking, powerful, exciting Argentina side. Here comes Rodriguez, the Mexican centre-back, who's striding out of defence, finds Osorio. Osorio making ground down the right-hand side to Dos Santos. Dos Santos gets the ball back and starts a little run infield. Here's Juarez, who was starting the evening at right-back. Mexico working it well from left to right. Barrera, little ball out away to the right-hand side. Argentina back in numbers. Can they get the ball into the near post? They can. But Romero just falls on it easily, and Argentina are going into the last 8.
Yeah, they just needed someone there to get across the 6-yard box in front of the goalkeeper, Romero, tall goalkeeper with a ponytail,
who clears well to Otamendi. Almost a pass clearance there from Romero. Otamendi's lost the ball. Salcido with a little nutmeg there, so gets one over on one of the Argentine players before the full-time whistle blows. Just a minute to play here. Juarez, little dribble forward. He's tackled by Otamendi. Diego Maradona decides to use his hands. Now, where have we heard that before? A few years ago against England, I think. Catches the ball, chucks it back in play. Oh, Lionel Messi totally took his eye off the ball, and it's rolled under his right boot. So Mexico will attack down the right-hand side. Barrera infield to Juarez, who looks for the little 1-2. Franco sticks a leg out to try and intercept. There was a flag up on the far side. It's a bad challenge on the Argentine defender. And Argentina lead by 3-1. But Mexico, David, they will turn around at the end of the game, won't they? And say, well, actually, first goal, which is so crucial, was was a long way offside, and they've been unlucky in that respect.
Yes, two fortunate goals, and I think they've been a neat and tidy side, and I think they've added something to the competition. I think they can go home with their heads held high. When you look at the way they came to this situation with, 3 different people in charge of the team.
3 minutes of added time to be played here at Soccer City, where the wind still gusts, the temperatures are chilly, but we've been mightily warmed by the team in the light blue and white stripes. That's a bad tackle there on Pastore from Tirado. Mexico know the game is up. Argentina have a late free kick and possibly a chance just to add a fourth. It'll be interesting to see how many players... Well, no one is making their way towards the penalty area.
No, it was the point I made earlier. Since Veron's been on, there's no doubt about it. He's kept everyone back. They've had 7 back, 8 back. Only Messi and Higuain up front. And even now, they've got a 2-goal lead. They could go and make it 4 if they really put themselves out. That's the danger of underestimating Argentina. They haven't had to turn it on in this second half. They've been comfortable. So they've got far more to give them probably we've seen tonight.
Lionel Messi just wins a throw-in for Argentina. The time is ticking down here on 5 Live Sport this Sunday evening. Argentina, the team, a joy to watch, and their fans a joy to watch as well, because we've just got a swirl of blue and white flags, scarves, and so many of the flags and banners have big pictures of Diego Maradona's voice on. And if you go to the press conferences after the games as well, which I did after the South Korea game, the journalists basically address him as Your Highness, Your Excellency. I mean, there is just such a love and respect and adoration of Diego Maradona.
Yeah, there's a square in Buenos Aires. I think it's something connected with Eva Perón, where it's an absolutely fantastic, lively, bustling place, and they'll be...
Here now, Messi, can he get his first World Cup goal? Into the box, left foot shot, tipped over the bar. Will he score at this World Cup? He's had so many efforts. It was a screamer. He just darted in between 2 defenders. Really quick backlift, heading for the roof of the net, and Perez put both hands up and palmed it over the bar.
Well, let's give credit to the diminutive goalkeeper. It was a wonderful tip over. I mean, we expect those magical moments from Messi, but it was a wonderful tip over by the goalkeeper. Marvellous.
Corner for Argentina. Well, Messi definitely still wants to get a goal this evening because he's yet to get off the mark. Argentina have a throw. We're in the final minute of added time. Veron slings the ball in. He tries to pick up the return pass. He can't. It comes back to Perez, who in his yellow goalkeeping outfit whacks it long downfield. Ain't say with a big long header forward. Looked like a handball there. It was from Pastore. And so Mexico will get the free kick inside their own half. Here's Salcido, the left back. Surprised he didn't try and shoot from there because he was only 65 yards out. Franco is offside. Argentina will get a free kick. It's party time here for the fans in the blue and white stripes. They've already started. And they're just waiting here for the final whistle to blow. Argentina leading by 3-1. And a really, really good quarter-final on the cards between Germany and Argentina. And the Argentina players have their hands in the air. The full-time whistle has blown. And who is going to stop Diego Maradona and his fast-flowing attacking team? Carlos Tevez's first goal was offside. They got lucky there. Higuain stuck in a second after Osorio made a dreadful mistake. Tevez with an absolute screamer into the top of the net made it 3-0, and Javier Hernandez with the late reply for Mexico, another stunning goal. But the Argentina players already in a big huddle in the centre circle. Diego Maradona is giving the love. The toilet rolls from the Argentina fans are flying on the pitch again. And if you're an Argentina fan, you are really enjoying this World Cup. Full-time score here from Soccer City. Argentina have beaten Mexico by 3-1.